So the other day I was taking a walk. I'm like a dog, I need to go out every day, except not to go to the bathroom or anything, I mean just for the sake of physical exertion. And I came across this huge cluster of little girls by this one house. There were at least 30 of them. They must have been having a party or something. Anyway, they were asking cars to honk at them, and when I walked past they asked me to honk at them. So since I'm not a car, I had to honk like this. Honk honk. And then I was about to walk away. But then one of the girls called to me and asked, "Do you have vampire teeth?" So I turned around and came back and said, "That's what people say." Because my mother and sister are always telling me I have really sharp teeth. But they don't compare me to a vampire. They actually usually compare me to David Bowie, which is a little offensive to me. I never thought my teeth were that sharp, but this girl was incredibly impressed by my apparently unusually sharp cuspids. So she called all her friends over and said, "Look, she has vampire teeth." So suddenly I'm surrounded by 30+ girls all looking at my teeth and oohing and eyeing at them. One girl even said, "What are those?" "These are my actual teeth." Then, of course, they started asking me questions. "Are you a vampire?" I said, "Well, my skin is pretty pale, so I wouldn't doubt if my dad was a vampire or something." Then they asked me if I sparkled in the sunlight. I said, "No, real vampires do not sparkle." And they started asking me if I ever read or watched Twilight. And they told me I should really go see New Moon because Jacob was really hot in that movie. These are like 5-year-old girls. What is the media doing to our children? I said, "Well, I'll think about it." Then there were a few more questions about tanning and where I went to school and such. And finally it was time to go. But before we parted ways, one girl asked me what I had been doing before I had been stopped by her friend. I said I was just taking a walk around the block. And she said, "So you were just walking around the block, and she stopped you to ask you if you had vampire teeth?" And I said, "Yeah, basically." And so she turned to her friend and said, "You're so weird." I think some of my most interesting conversations have been with little kids. They have wild imaginations, and they don't hold anything back.